All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everybody, to the morning session server bullet. Here we go. Starting 2 minutes ahead of the curve, but should be good enough. So, preparing the setup as we go. And yeah, so far we can observe the march or the strong punch into the all-time highs on Nasdaq and ES, both marching higher and higher and higher into the abyss. So yeah, what do we have in the cards so far? We opened with a premium opening range gap of a rather like a medium size opening range gap, around 50 handles. Traded into it initially here, left two lows inside of it, relative equal lows, and the 50% / consecutive encroachment was not traded to so far. Taking the fact that we are extended, pretty much very extended, into the all-time highs, taking the fact that we opened with a premium opening range gap, and that we have relative equal lows just above this consecutive encroachment, all of that makes me right away want to favor potential trade down into it at some point. So to some degree or technically a little bit favoring the more bearish stance on it, right? But at the same time, these are all-time highs, and I would not like to be blindly going short just because. But if an opportunity would potentially present itself, then I think this makes the most sense versus chasing the price higher at this point of time. So I suppose we'll see what we'll get eventually out of it, but seems like this type of idea makes the most sense, at least at this moment for me. So pretty symmetrical in a sense that both ES and Nasdaq are offering this type of rally in here, higher, that completely purges and rates the buy side liquidity that was resting in here, and we'll see what we'll get, obviously. So approaching 30,500, big figure or large number on Nasdaq, closely going through 7,600, big figure on ES, and purging the liquidity accordingly to that. So yeah, I mean, all-time highs, that's where we are at, and we'll see whether I can swim in that pool of liquidity. No punch intended, but that's kind of how it is and what it looks like so far. Yeah, might be interesting one, might be an interesting session to watch. I hope it will be, though. I hope it will be. So, do I need anything else really at this moment here? I don't think so. Nothing else really matters too much, I feel like, at this moment, besides this opening range gap here potentially, and yeah, pretty damn strong rally in here into the all-time highs. Starting pretty much slightly ahead of the open, but then open just offer the continuation that we see right now, and it's pretty going into the moon pretty much. So let's see. All right, so far we only have this small little fair value gap there that price trade into. We rallied, no real inefficiencies until something here. There we go. No real news scheduled for today, so I would say it's less likely. I mean, initially it would be less likely to offer like a very sustained price run without any like news that just keeps on going and going and going, right? So I assume there will be a potential opportunity to seek the price back into the range, inside of this range. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. So far, it just looks like it wants to continuously be delivering higher prices, and not much besides that. Yeah, interesting how ES left very smooth sell liquidity in here, especially these lows. Very smooth, relatively cool lows. Very smooth consolidation, pretty much, and then 930 just took it higher, and this is where we are at. So yeah, I'm preferring a potential runs into sell liquidity if possible, if allowed. On ES, when it comes to the opening range gap, there is none, pretty much no opening range gap on ES at all. In comparison, Nasdaq has some, ES does not. All right. So I think that's technically the analysis, the pre-market analysis here for the 10 a.m. silver bullet, and we'll see what we get eventually. Yeah, we'll see what we get, right? 1030 is a good threshold, whether we'll get something or not. Yeah, I mean, generally, this looks like we might see some one-sided type of morning session so far, which, if that's the case, then the lunch macro might be actually very, very interesting to see whether and how deep it can sink back inside the range. But yeah, so far, all-time highs. That's where we are at. And yep. Also looks like we will be forming this large, busy Poisson imbalances and efficiency in here while going into the all-time highs and while leaving a lot of equal lows in here and sell side. This busy and overall this energy, this displacement behind this move here looks somewhat as a capitulation in my mind. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough logic, my friend. Fair enough logic. We'll see. We'll see what we get actually out of it. But yeah, this looks like a capitulation though. Like really just dragging everyone into repulse. Everyone that tried shorts, just nail them. And yeah, on Friday, move like this after we already took an alt high. And this really smells like measure of capitulation coming. And usually a round of distribution follows. But yeah, we'll see what we'll get. We'll see what we'll get. So far, just continuously pushing higher, continuously delivering higher prices. Well, look at this. Look at this rally here. Look at this run. How it's screaming higher. Just into all-time highs. Such a nice, large, up close body candles on 15 minutes. This really looks like, I mean, we were already like trading higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and now we see this into Friday's trading. Well, interesting nonetheless. But to me, this sounds like we will be forming some more intermediate, more important high uh, soon. Like I'm not sure that these prices can be sustained like this after this measure of displacement, and I don't think that any retracement should be necessarily bought up to go even higher. I mean, it can, but very, very suspect, I suppose. So far, I like this basin here on ES that was respected with the bodies, and we made a higher high. If we could inverse that, that would be like an idea to potentially look for something there. I suppose I will use the 1 minute ES and 1 minute Nasdaq on one side and another. So that's where the sell side liquidity resides on ES. Very, very clean. Perfect relative equal lows. Large rally up in here. So let's see if that will be able to be faded during this hour here. So the same BISI that is available on ES, there is no real inefficiency on Nasdaq that would match that at all. All right, so I'm generally looking, or I'm interested in potentially using this this area in here as a potential inversion for value gap that could maybe send price lower. But yeah, at the same time, I'm seeing a potential issues and potential hardships that uh, there might be uh, linked to how large of a range we covered already in this hour, the last hour. All right, so I'm guessing, or I'm assuming, if this is a valid short, it rather should quickly be running away from where it is. It did spend some time initially in here around it. I mean, trading inside of this BC on ES. On Nasdaq there is no BC. at all here. So that's a little bit suspect, but now we are trading below it here. So if you can manage to close, then I really would like to see the lower half being respected as inversion and not give any room for price to trade above it, right? That kinda would make the most sense, I would say, in my mind. And there is also this busy here that we also close below. So now I'm watching this and this lower half. This can react here, obviously, but because there is this one very close to it, it could always want to retrade up into it too. So I'm kind of like watching both at the same time. All right, I like how we trade into it with a wick, but the body stayed lower. That is a positive sign, but at the same time, I'm kind of like aware that a lot of people could want to short this too at the open or after the open, after it showed this initial try to roll over. Then I assume a lot of new shorts might be flooding the market, but yeah, that kind of like makes the most sense to see it roll over towards the sell side here, and that this was a measure of capitulation. That really makes the most sense in my mind. I feel like I like how this candle wicked into this upper inefficiency but closed lower like this. That's very good. That should really quickly sell off if bearish. There shouldn't be much hesitation in it here. What I'm personally a little bit concerned about is that we left some measure of relative equal highs here and relative equal highs here on Nasdaq. Nasdaq has cleaner ones in it. So that's always a little bit suspect, especially after this type of rally, where I assume a lot of people would like to short because we are all-time highs, very deeply extended. So that's an easy short, right? And it might be, but yeah, I mean, taking this buy liquidity one more time and then flipping, that would be like far stronger, I think. Yeah, the survival gap already closed, and now we are setting this retracement that, in my opinion, there is quite a chance that we will take out those, I mean, these highs here with it. Yeah, and it had already closed above consecutive encroachment of this upper busy, which is not ideal for it to go lower, in my mind. So yeah, I'm now watching whether we will actually make this one more attempt to potentially run the bicep here. we'll see. I'm just not comfortable selling all-time highs like this in here. Selling the exact all-time highs, because that would be equal with literally predicting the high. Trying to predict the exact high of this market at the moment, which, yeah, I mean, many have tried. Yeah, we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. So far it looks like it's teasing a little bit more of a downside here. But again, I feel like if it's good, it should just completely fall out of the bed, right? Well, so let's watch. Let's see. Let's see. So far, uh, we are doing a little bit of work here. So this short-term low being taken out, and that should really bring heaviness and continuation to the downside with no hesitation really, if possible, right? The hourly imbalance is shrinking at the time. There is also this potential inversion here on ES. Nasdaq has less inversion for value gaps on this side of the curve. Well, we'll see if we can get it though. Let's see if we can actually get it though. So yeah, we got technically to the equilibrium of this price run here higher. We do have a SIBI on Nasdaq at 10.15, and we have the same SIBI at or on ES 2. We went below this fair value gap here on a closing basis, so it should act as inversion fair value gap on ES. But yeah, at this point, I would say if it's really going to go lower, it will just fall out of the bed and doesn't necessarily need to return higher. I feel like, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, ES also trading to the equilibrium or and below. of its respective range. Well, interesting, nonetheless interesting. The sell side and the opening range gap on Nasdaq is set in place. That's for sure. The sell side on ES is also set in place. All right, and we are seeing a measure of displacement here. So I suppose that if it's good, it should be running for that sell side here. Otherwise it might be tricky, and we might see a higher high. I feel like we'll see though. But yeah, stopping around here, could be also interesting idea for higher. Well, so we will be trading to this bearish fair value gap here, potentially on Nasdaq. Okay, so I'm thinking something like this. All right, let's see. Going against the grain a little bit here, but I'm spotting a potential discount to premium type of trade. That is maybe a little bit ambitious, admittedly, but I feel like the shorts are just too obvious here, and my gut feeling is telling me that the high is a little bit like still very suspect, and this is still shorting all-time highs, and that can't be this easy, right? Usually, unless it is, and I'm getting cooked then. But well, I guess that's the risk behind it. Hmm. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I mean this looks still very very dangerous in here. I suppose maybe are a little bit over ambitious, but if my assumption is correct, then we should see a strong push higher here. Also, I like how ES made a lower low while Nasdaq is not necessarily matching that yet. So if we can smirk up a little bit of a push in here, that's kind of reasonable, I would say. That has some potential, but yeah, I guess that's yeah, remaining to be seen. All right, so yeah, it got me out. Got me out indeed. I mean, fair enough, I guess. Completely fair enough. I just went against the grain, I suppose, with this price range. But yeah, nonetheless, interesting how it delivered here. To be honest, interesting how it delivered, especially on ES. But yeah, Nasdaq had a little bit less inefficiencies to choose from, but still tap into the opening range gap. Likely we should take the sell side here. And it was delivered from this fair value gap here. That was a nice displacement, yes, that's for sure. And it delivers well. Nice, nice. Again, I guess I tricked myself into thinking that this is just too easy to actually work out this well, but apparently it was that easy today. Apparently it was. So well, I suppose ES has still a little bit of room to reach for the radical lows. And closure of this Friday's opening range gap on Nasdaq would be a like great target for this price run here, I suppose. Yeah, well, let's add the L to the counter. 4 to 8 after 3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah. 4 to 8. Yeah, I guess could have been better, but it is what it is. Still in play. Still have a little bit of room. Comeback is still possible, but yeah, I'm definitely not making this easier for myself here. But yeah, well, solid how it delivered. All right, and now ES is making a rally while it kind of failed to reach those lows. And Nasdaq is also potentially bulking up a little bit here. So if it rallies from here again, or tries to make a rally here deeper, then that's kind of what I was anticipating, but maybe I was just ahead of the curve. Then if it just dumps lower, then yeah, I mean, this idea was completely completely inappropriate at the time. But yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I mean, still all-time high scenarios like this um, are pretty tricky for me. I gotta admit. Sometimes I'm trying to uh, like predict too much ahead of time instead of focusing on what's there at the time. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. As long as I stick to the rules, as long as I uh, don't go on tilt or anything like that, it's all good. It's all manageable. But yeah, it's just a little bit unpleasant to suffer. But yeah, uh, 30 minutes into this hour. Let's see a little bit longer how it will deliver still. Yeah, my gut is also telling me that we might see a comeback to all-time highs off of that still. So well, trader P1, that's a good question though, but yeah, generally dealing with all-time high conditions, uh, which can be many times still a little bit tricky. And yeah, I mean, me personally, I was just, I mean, the sell side and the return into the opening range gap, that was the first thing that I outlined as a potential for the session, right? But then as price started delivering, it felt to me that it's just too easy to expect that happening and that they will deny that and repeat one more time higher. And I've chosen to go with that idea. But um, the way or the timing in here where I did it was probably just uh, pretty poor, and that's what I get in return, I suppose. So yeah, I'm still kind of interested whether ES will run those relatively close. I suspect that it should do it. I suspect that it should do it at this point to kind of like offset that liquidity, because it doesn't have a opening range gap in comparison to Nasdaq. So Nasdaq may be hesitant to actually follow through due to the opening range gap being there, while ES not having one, then the sell side is more potentially more prompt to be there. But all-time highs can be tricky in that regard, right? Uh, so that kind of remains to be seen. GG. Yeah, I mean, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm not gonna be doing the PM session. Uh, but yeah, I guess I'll stay a couple more minutes to watch and see what we'll get, whether we will get that sell side on ES or not, and yeah, we'll head to the weekend too. Sure, my friend. Sure, that's exactly what we'll be doing. That's exactly what we'll be doing. I will be definitely logging this example at all-time highs, price action like this on Friday, and how it developed. Yeah, already Nasdaq and ES bulking up some rally without taking the sell side here on ES. And yeah, I mean, this type of rally that I was looking for that. I was looking for that type of movement for my long. But apparently I just went a little bit too soon in, and that was the crucial mistake, I guess. Fair enough, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, potential inversion for value gap here, but yeah, so far price is already trading through it here, not offering that much. And with that, one more reach higher like this, I suppose that if it's good, the sell side liquidity on ES should be attacked from where it is here. So let's see if that will actually unfold. Let's see if that may actually unfold or not. I like how the bodies on 1 minute came all the way up and close above this little CB, keeping that potential inversion characteristic on it alive, but still ES is or should be strongly being drawn lower, which might also take Nasdaq a little bit deeper here. But yeah, at this point it's pretty tricky. Yeah, exactly. So that's the sell-off on ES that should continue a little bit more, like a couple more handles, clear out the sell side liquidity here, and that would be like it, in my opinion, for the morning session here. Pretty solid delivery there. And yeah, I mean, logical after all. But yeah, I don't know. I just messed that up a little bit. Again, I mean, a little bit like not trusting my analysis on the all-time highs as I should. and trying to go ahead of the curve, predicting things that are maybe not necessarily in price yet, but that they might come later. And that was kind of like the issue. Well. First week, blunder after blunder. Second week, win after win. And third week, back to the blunders. So well. Right, very close to that relatively close. I would still prefer to see that being traded to and through a little bit. That's what I would expect. We touched the lows, and yeah, now possibly a little bit of a purge below it would be definitely welcome in the next couple of minutes. But nonetheless, this already kind of like completes the morning session anyway for me. So yeah, I'm taking four losses out of this week. Damn it. But yeah, next week comeback. Hopefully next week comeback. I need to recuperate a little bit, and yeah, I'll be coming back next week for more action, and we'll see what we get after all. So yeah, but yeah, quick little review of this Diddy in here. Again, I mean, the initial expectation, the initial pre-market analysis was the sell side here on ES and the sell side here and opening range gap on Nasdaq. That was what I was liking as a draw. The problem with my execution though was, nice purge through that, was that I impulsively changed my mind, expecting some measure of tomfoolery to the upside on Nasdaq especially, and going against the underlying idea that I outlined already here. And that was my mistake, obviously. That was my mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I should always stick with my analysis until proven otherwise and not changing it on the fly like this. So I guess that there is a lesson in there. But yeah. All right, guys. So nonetheless, price delivered the sell side. In my opinion, we'll see whether and how much it will go through it or below it. But that's pretty much it, in my opinion, for the morning session. From now on, it could go into consolidation or whatever. But yeah, it pretty much delivered a price run. I already took a trade. I took a loss. So I'm not allowed to trade it anymore anyway. So I'm done for this week. I'll be coming back next week with the London Open on Monday. We'll see what we get there. And we are running a little bit short on the drawdown. So I will need to get some W's. Otherwise this account will be on the edge of being blown, which might be something that could happen. We'll see. I will try to prevent that. But if it happens, then I will just take another one and make the second attempt of the phase one after all. So, well, thanks for watching. Nonetheless, kudos to you guys for staying with me this long and second time today. I wish you guys a pleasant weekend. Take a good rest, have some fun, and see you guys next time on Monday, London Open. So bye bye.